Oh man. So, whenever you see Linda sitting in the sunshine, what does that mean? That means that warmer temperatures are coming in. The first thing I want you guys to do is I want you to look at my 10-day forecast. It's going to hit 83 degrees this week. 83 degrees, can you believe that? So, we got to do some prep work. So, I'm going to run down to the shed and we're going to talk about pre-scalping and why it's different than my full scalp. So, hold on. So I wanted to show you the front yard. This is the status of my front yard. And I would say that this yard, is maybe about an inch and a half, something like that. We'll cut this down. We'll take it down about half. We'll just clean it up, make it look nice. Put down our PGF balance. And I'm telling you, we got some rain and we got high temperatures, 70s and close to 80s and even above 80 this week. I guarantee this Bermuda starts to come out. Now that's not saying in March I'm not gonna have freezes and come down to the 20s. I may have that, but this just helps out on the preseason. Okay, so let's get right into this subject and let me go ahead and cover some points that might help you out. And then I'll probably put some of this stuff on video that we're doing. Number one, in the lawn guides, now there's a lawn guide for all the grasses. The cool season grasses, fescues, Bermudas, Kentucky bluegrass, all that. There's one for Bermuda grass and Zoysia grass. They're free. Go to freelawncareguide.com. That website is for the cool season, but at the top there's links to the Bermuda guide and Zoysia guide. There's calendars, there's links to products, and there's complete information on everything you might need. This is the end of February. Here comes the dogs. This is the end of February, getting close to the end of February. And this is the time of year where I like to come out and start a little bit early versus waiting. Now, my pre-emergent date is March 15th. That's what everyone says. And I've learned over the years, come out about 2 weeks before that and start my pre-emergent and jumpstart program. Now, what's the jumpstart program? A lot of people think the jumpstart program is pushing your lawn, and it's not. What the jumpstart program is we come out with PGF balance, which is a very mild, all fast release 10-10-10 micro-sized. It's the only 10-10-10 that's micronized for the lawn. So it's tiny particles. You get great distribution at a light rate. That's really important. And what we're doing is we're putting out just a little bit of nutrients so that when our lawn wakes up naturally, we're not pushing it, when our lawn wakes up, it has what it needs. It doesn't need a whole bunch of nitrogen. It doesn't need a whole bunch of nutrients. There's stuff in the soil, but we want to replenish what's been missing during this whole winter. Everything's been leaching out. It's been just sitting here nasty. So again, we come out, we put down our pre-emergent. At the same time, we put down our 10-10-10. And what I like to do right now is I like to do a pre-scalp. And why do I do a pre-scalp? The pre-scalp, if I waited, over the years I've learned that if I wait and do my full scalp all at once, man, it becomes a burden. You've seen me in past years. I've even had crews come in and scalp down my Bermuda for me because I don't want to haul this crap away. Well, if I do a pre-scalp now, which is maybe take it down from where it is now, my lawn is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches right now, and it's all brown. I'm going to take it down about half of that. And then we're going to clean that up, and then we're going to leave it. Then we're going to put down our PGF balance because I've already put down my pre-emergent. We're going to put down my PGF balance, and I'm pretty much done here. Now I have treated, you're going to see a lot of poana, and we talked about this in the last video, that we decided to let this whole yard go to crap. We decided not to treat it, not to do anything while we're working on the farm project, and I've got a ton of poana around here. So I did treat it a few days ago, but then we had cold weather and rains move in, so the poana takes a long time to die when you use certain products, I'll tell you right now. So it's just taking a long time to die off. But that doesn't matter. We're going to cut it down, we're going to scalp it, just clean up the yard. I'll come by, and the way I'm going to do it is I don't like to leave the dead scalp on the lawn, so I'll come by probably with the John Deere and vacuum it up, and we'll be half ready. In a couple of weeks, in a few weeks, probably the beginning of March sometime, if I see a nice green haze all over my lawn, that's the point when I'm going to do my full scalp. So I'm going to do a half scalp. I'm going to have some green come up, but then I'm going to come out in probably 3 or 4 weeks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my full scalp and I'm going to put my second pre-emergent treatment down. Now that's part of that split pre-emergent program we do, and that's covered in the lawn guide, so make sure you get the lawn guides. So that's what we're doing today. I have to sharpen. Today we're going to use the big True Cut. I got a 27-inch True Cut that the only time we really use it is if we have to do something really aggressive and hard with the lawn. I understand a lot of you guys don't have all this equipment, so you just have to use what you have. But we get to use, I'm going to use the big True Cut. We're going to put the wear and tear on that. Now when we do our normal cutting, we always use the McLeans, and I link to those on the web page below. I'm going to link to the products we're putting out. I'll even link, there's a link to the True Cuts that I use, to the McLeans that I use, the spreader, everything is on there. So if you need it, it'll be on that page down below. And there's also links to the lawn guides. So we only use the McLeans when we're doing normal cutting because they're so light. The big True Cut, the 27-inch True Cut, I really like that machine, but man, it's just so big and so heavy. You start to get these wheel marks in your lawn. And the McLeans are just so smooth and so light and so easy to operate. Sometimes I'm just an idiot. Anyways, this is a little drill attachment that I use for my big True Cut. And what I do, I just took the chain off. I loosen all three of these bolts on both sides. I take my chain off, and then I put this on my drill, and I can actually turn this backwards with my drill and then put my compound on my blades. But guess what? All my drills are over at the farm property. I have 4 drills over at the farm and I have none here. Dude, why? So anyways, we will postpone this till tomorrow. And what I'll do is, now I've gone ahead and I've lubed up. If you don't know anything about True Cuts, they have these grease zerks here, and there's like 5 or 6 of them. So I've gone ahead and I've filled those up, started it, it's running fine, but I can't do anything without a drill. So tomorrow morning I'm gonna go over to the farm property. Ryan cut the grass over there today, so I want to take a look at it, and then I'll come back here and do a back lap. Changing plans. My phone went off, ping, and Ryan was still at the farm property. I was like, yes. So I told him to bring back a drill and a battery, so now I can do this thing. So here we go. Oh, hallelujah. I can finally do this now. So on a True Cut, you have to have this nut driver. And what you're going to do is with your drilling forward, it'll actually reverse the blades. And I barely loosen up my side bolts, and I always use an 80 grit on this because I want kind of I don't want a smooth finish on my blades. I actually want a kind of a serrated edge. So the other trick I do when I'm doing this, a lot of your manufacturers, now most of your manufacturers will have a kit that you install on this, and what you do is it reverses the chain. But dude, that's dangerous as hell. I'm sorry. And a lot of your manufacturers will say, oh, as an example, McLean hates when I show doing it manually, but it scares me to have this thing completely powered up, just rolling like hell, and then all of a sudden one of those switches gets bumped and you got this thing. I prefer much more to do it slow. The other thing I like to do is, because when you get it, this is a 27-inch True Cut. But when you get into these wide blades, a lot of times you get a little bit of imbalance on the blade. And so when you go slow, it has a tendency to get all that blade across. And when you speed it up, it has a tendency to skip certain parts. Got it? So that's why what I like to do is I'll do it at varying speeds. You see me. I'm going to go real slow and let the blade sort of drag along the bed knife, and then I'll speed it up, and then I'll slow it down and do it at different speeds. See, I still have, you know, probably close to 3/4 of an inch here. But all I'm doing is I'm just doing a pre-scalp. I just want to clean it up a little bit, take it down a little bit, take it down a little bit. It'll make it a little bit easier when we do our full scalp. But now I can put down my my balance, PGF balance. Why don't you use your grass catcher? Grass catchers are a pain in the ass when you're doing scalping. You have to stop every single pass. So I just use the John Deere. When we do our full scalp, I'm gonna have to come out here and cut this probably twice to bring it down almost close to dirt. I always take mine as close as I can, because if I wanna have a 3/4 inch grass, I need to take it down half of that. So what's that, you know? It's gotta be low. Phew. Man, I shouldn't have worn a mask out there. And glasses. You know, when my hair gets this long, I hate it. I like to really buzz it, keep it short. I call it my Bermuda haircut. But this looks so much better. But look at that. That looks just nice and clean. I finally got some lines on here. It's short. So that's really what I want to see right now. This time of year, that's 3/4 of an inch right there, maybe to an inch. That's where I want to be. And we're going to take this down pretty much as low as we can get it. Maybe down to just below 1/2 inch. Because we're going to do it real short this year. Okay, so PGF balance time. Again, you got to understand that what we're doing is we're not fertilizing our grass to make it grow. PGF balance is specially formulated for just this purpose. It's a 10-10-10 micro size with micros and iron inside of it. So it's just a very light treatment. Over the next 30 days, it's going to work into the soil. And over the next 30 days, my lawn is going to gently wake up. When the growing season hits, when we start to get constantly in the high 70s, get close to 80s, I'm going to pound down some PGF Complete. And we switch over to the PGF Complete, and that's all during the growing season. It's pretty simple. Here it is. I mean, the particles are so small, it's almost like a golf green fertilizer. And it's the only 10-10-10 out there designed like this. So here's the front yard. All scalped down, nice and neat, all cut. Look at that. Man, that just looks great. All right, so here's the backyard. Linda thinks it looks pretty good. So there's a couple things. We got a lot of work to do out here. One little note I want to give you guys, if you have some bushes out there, a lot of you guys like us had this real hard, cold front move in. We got down to 10 degrees. We've owned this house for 7 years, and this has only happened twice. These palms actually froze out. So we're gonna have to, I told Ryan, he loves these things because they're full of thorns, every one of them. He's got to cut all that down. Now, here's an interesting note. The putting green is a dwarf bent grass. And I am really, really surprised at how that has taken that cold this year. Look at it. This is February. Look at it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I was out here yesterday. I cut it. I've been feeding it with green shocker. which is a 712 all fast release fertilizer. I've just been sort of hand feeding it with some green shocker. Man, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. I was out here cutting. I was going to put that on video, but the video is getting a little bit too long. So look, guys, remember, get the lawn guides. They're free, and it walks you through every aspect of the year. If you have grubs, if you have disease, what fertilizer should I use? And for every single lawn, it walks you all the way through. That's it. And we got a bunch of videos coming out. Hit that subscribe. Talk to you later. Duck.